What happens when one simple injection changes everything? From the age of 3, she has navigated life with cerebral palsy and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Her memoir, Through the Layers, speaks of pain, unshakable faith, and rising against adversity. Today, we explore her courageous story, layer by layer. I am Andrea Torhee. Welcome to Book World. After the short break, we'll meet Anifat Sadu, who shares her story. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's meet a remarkable voice. At just 23, Anifat Sadu has inspired thousands with her resilience through overlapping challenges, and now shares her story in Through the Layers. Hi, Anifat.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
Well, good, thank you.
I'm glad to have you. So tell us, what is this cerebral palsy and obsessive-compulsive disorder really all about?
Okay, so cerebral palsy is caused by the damage of the part of the developing brain responsible for muscle movements. Right? And it usually happens during the first 3 years of the child's life while the brain is still developing. So basically, anything that causes damage to the developing brain results to cerebral palsy. So an adult can have cerebral palsy. That's to be from childhood.
Okay.
So things like wrong injection, malaria, if a child hits his head on the wall, delayed birth, all this can cause cerebral palsy.
Okay.
So, but for obsessive-compulsive disorder, it's a mental health condition where a person has repeated unwanted obsessive thoughts in his or her head. And in order to try to manage that thought, you're going to have repeated compulsions, actions to try to stop those thoughts. When in reality, you're only increasing the thoughts, right? The anxiety is only increasing. So it's an anxiety disorder. So let me give you an example for context.
Okay.
For example, let's say a person has repeated fear that my hands are dirty, my hands are dirty. So that is the obsessive thoughts. So the compulsions would be, I need to wash, I need to wash. So even when the hands are already clean, you can find the person going over and over to wash his hands. And it could also happen that the person has fear of losing his or her family, or has fear of anything wrong happening all of a sudden. So the person might repeatedly go and check the door if it's locked, if the gas cooker is, if it's locked, if the gas cooker is in the right position. So in reality, these thoughts are not, they don't make sense, but the person can't just control it.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Wow. So can you tell us what life was like after that wrong injection? And do you know what injection it was exactly?
Okay, so the injection was at age 3. So according to my mother, I met all my milestones at the right age. I walked well, started speaking well. In fact, she would say that I met all my milestones, even more than the average child.
Wow.
So, but then I had malaria. I'm the first of 5 children.
Okay.
So they were always very extra careful about me. So I had malaria and they took me to the hospital. So I got the treatment, but 2 weeks after the injection, they started noticing strange symptoms, like I was bending to the right, I couldn't hold my pen well, and the like. So they concluded, what better explanation would you give that?
Yeah.
But along the line, I used to ask them, okay, so fine, it's an injection, but what is the name of this thing? But they would say, nobody told us. It's just, we were treating the symptoms. So for my own personal research, I started Googling and, checking Google for my symptoms, and then matched with what we call cerebral palsy, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So, but then my parents, especially my mother, she still believes no. it's the injection. It's nothing like cerebral palsy. So it's quite interwoven,
Yeah.
but my symptoms looks like cerebral palsy, and some doctors have also confirmed that that's the name of the condition. If it was the injection, maybe she had difficulty when giving birth to me. She had difficulty, right? But then if it was the injection, if it was the difficulty, I don't know specifically, but the symptoms are cerebral palsy.
Okay. So how has life been like after that development of cerebral palsy, and also when did the OCD start to develop?
Okay, so life has been, I mean, like every other person, even if he has his own, downtimes, you have to keep on explaining to people. I mean, in Nigeria, you still have a long way to go regarding accessibility and inclusive society and infrastructure for persons with disability. But as someone with a disability, you need to keep speaking up.
Yes, you do.
It might be quite painful, even if you shout from today to tomorrow. I'll tell you, this is how we've been doing it. For example, writing in school, back then in my university days, I just needed an access to a laptop or a computer but they said this is how the system is. You have to write like every other person. And it's almost, it's painful not being able to put down what you know, which will affect your grades. Yeah, so I discovered I had OCD when I was in 300 level. Yeah, 300 level of school. It's like a terrible experience. So I used to have obsessive thoughts. I used to have fear of dying, and I used to have that intense anxiety, like I would not be able to sleep in the night. So it happened for a long time, several months, before I could get a diagnosis. I didn't also know what OCD was, but then I was finding answers and I got the diagnosis. So since then I've been on medications and
Okay, great. So why did you decide to write your story or the memoir through the layers?
Okay, so not a lot of people know what these conditions are. Not a lot of people know that such things exist. And so I wrote it as a sense of awareness, to give that awareness. And number two, I also wrote it to speak for individuals with same conditions that don't have the courage yet to tell their stories. And lastly, I also wrote it for inspiration, to give someone a sense of inspiration, to give someone a sense of hope that, regardless of your challenges, even if it's one step at a time, it may take decades. You can still get successful. You can still live a fulfilled life. Yeah.
That's great. That's so inspiring. What challenges did you have while writing this book? And how long did it take you to finish it?
So it took me 3 years to finish it. So there were nights I would drop the book and just hate my writing. Like, this is not like the Wole Soyinka's that I read. Like, what is this? It is messy. So but then I had to keep coming back and be visiting. It's not an easy journey. Some days you would even forget that you're writing a book. So but then, and it's quite it's the experience was as if I was reliving some of those experiences, right? So but the major thing is not to give up. Just keep doing it. Just even if it's one word a day, even if it's one paragraph a day, keep writing. It might take years, like me, but you need to keep writing and understand why you're doing it. But of course, it's not easy. Like, you have to ditch maybe watching movies or playing around and just get the work done.
Yeah, I mean, creative work takes a lot of time and dedication and consistency, of which you were able to apply to finish your book, and that's a great thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us now, your degrees you have multiple degrees and you're pursuing one right now. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, so My first degree was in microbiology,
Okay.
and I finished that when I was 19. So after
Wow,
school,
that's awesome.
thank you. After school, I didn't know what to do. Then as time went on, I discovered that I had this passion for, exploring how the mind works, right? Sometimes I would just look at people and try to think about why they just behave the way they do, or their choice of life partner, choice of jobs. And so I didn't even know there was something like psychology where you could study all those things scientifically. So, but then during my research, I just discovered, oh, there's something like psychology. Why
Yeah.
not go for it? So that was when I discovered that you cannot go to study. You can't go straight into a course like clinical psychology if you had a BSc in microbiology. So you need to do a postgraduate diploma
Yes.
first. So I did that in the University of Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've completed that now.
Oh.
So the next is for me to go for my master's in clinical psychology.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
You've managed to gather all these degrees and...
Yeah, I also have one in Islamic psychology.
Okay.
So I also wanted to explore how, Islam explains psychological theories and, things like that. So I did that in the International Open University. It's an associate degree, so I just completed that as well. So the next step is just master's and PhD.
Okay, that's awesome. I look forward to you completing your master's and your PhD, so we can call you Dr. Anifat Sadu.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go for a quick short break and we'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. We're still here with Anifat Sadu sharing her story and talking about the book Through the Layers. So Anifat, tell us, what advice can you give to those who are currently having cerebral palsy or OCD? Because you've been able to, I won't say you have completely, you're still in the process, you're making progress with yourself. So what advice can you give to others to encourage them to make progress?
Okay, so the first thing is acknowledge the pain. Acknowledge that it is painful. Acknowledge that it can be challenging. Let me use the word challenging. So, but you already have this challenge. So what would you make out of it?
Yeah.
That's the next question. You already have the challenge. What can you still make out of it? And you need to understand that you are not your disability. Your disability is just one aspect of your life, and there is still more to you. There is still more you can achieve. Society will tell you no. Even your family members, they'll tell you no. But you need to understand that you could be the reason why someone else is, trying to give a second thought to what they are doing or what they've been thinking about giving up. You could be the reason why someone else is being hopeful to face their challenge. So you need to think about what next after this cerebral palsy, what next after this diagnosis, and try to look for ways to make life easier for yourself and keep advocating for yourself.
Yeah, so I can say for sure that it's not just those who have cerebral palsy or OCDs that go through difficult times. I'm sure that your family as well had to find a way to support you. How can you encourage other families to support their family members or their loved ones with these conditions?
Okay, so number one is to understand that you not having the condition, as a family member, you not having the condition doesn't mean that you are better.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone can also be disabled at any time. You could also have an accident, God forbid, and you lost a leg.
Or lose
automatically
your sight,
are disabled. So try to be empathetic and understand that they can still, with the right support, with your support, they can still reach the horizon. And them not being able to walk or speak well or write well doesn't mean that that is the end of their journey. And, just be that reason why someone else is doing exploits and, doing great things in life.
Okay, that's wonderful advice. And in your book, you talk about unshakable faith. Is that one of the things that forms the foundation of your life?
Okay, so I wouldn't say I've had that unshakable faith right from time. So, but the unshakable faith shows in the journey, right? When you read the book, you would be able to deduce that, okay, this is faith showing here. It may not be my own character, it may be my teachers, it may be my father.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I had that faith right from time. But when you go ahead and read the book, you would be able to see, you would see so many unshakable faiths. So, yeah.
Okay, I understand. So the book, Through the Layer, is currently on pre-order?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
where can we find that?
Okay, so you can find it on the website.
Okay.
www.anifatsadu.ng/TTL.
Okay.
So I repeat it, www.anifatsadu.ng/TTL. Yeah, so you can read more about the book on the website before purchasing
a copy. That's awesome. Now, there are lots of young people. We love to encourage young people to write more, to read more. And you are a really young person. You're just, 23?
Yes.
So how can you encourage other young people like yourself, either with disorders or with any advantage or disadvantage? How can you encourage them to write more, to tell their stories?
Okay, so a quick story. When I was writing the book, one of my challenges was that I was thinking, oh, I can't write. I'm just 19 or 18. Who will read? How many experiences have I gathered? But when a 40-year-old man, or a 30 or 50 or even 60 read that book, they would be grateful that I wrote it, right? So you don't need to be a particular age before writing, right? And think about how the book is going to outlast you. Think about other people that will benefit from their book even after you're gone, right? If you don't write it, no one will know you had such greatness inside of you. So just remove yourself from the picture and think about other people who would benefit from the book.
Oh, that's great advice, to be selfless and think of others. Now, should we expect more literary works from you?
Well, I wouldn't say yes. I wouldn't say no. But let's just keep it at yes, as God wills.
Okay, we definitely look forward to that. Now, I just want to ask, can you name, you talk about Through the Layers, and you talk about unshakable faith, and there are other layers that you have mentioned. Can you just give us one or two that you can say formed your childhood?
I would say my father's care.
Oh.
Because I don't even know where I would be without him. All this, I had this degree, I did this.
Yes.
It all stems from God and him. So he just had that resilience and passion to make sure that my care is intact, my education is intact. So that's one of the layers. I can't, when you go through the book, you would see him in different aspects, helping me and supporting me and advocating for me. So him and my mom, the both of them. So, and then another thing is teachers, right? I wrote in the book that in the journey of every child, it's cerebral, in the greatness of every individual living with, who has cerebral palsy, their success can be traced to their parents or their teachers, right? So teachers are also part of the layers, and we have so many characters in the book. So, yeah, friends, teachers, family,
Okay, that's wonderful. So have your family members or your friends, have they seen a part of the book, and what was their feedback like?
Well, some of them will be like, Anifat, I didn't know this was what you were going through.
Oh.
Especially the mental illness part.
Okay.
You know, it's quite, it may sound strange when you try to explain what OCD is to someone who is not struggling with it. So when they read the book, they'll be like, so this was what you were going through. Please remove this part. It's so deep. It's so serious. And some of them just cry, right? Some of them just cry. And some of them will be like, okay, I never knew this was what cerebral palsy was. I never knew it could manifest this way. Okay, so why did that teacher treat you like that? So some of them will be angry, like, why did this person do this? Why did that? So it's such an interesting book with different characters that anyone can explore and read.
Oh, that's wonderful. So we should expect tears, should expect shock, and lots of emotions while reading the book. Yeah. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing your time with us, Anifat.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Anifat Sadu's story reminds us that beneath every surface lies strength, faith, and the power to persevere. Through the Layers isn't just a memoir, it's a testament to human spirit. Discover Through the Layers, experience the journey of pain, hope, and resilience. Follow Anifat Sadu on social media for more details to get the book. Until next time on Book World, I am Andrea Torhee. Keep reading, keep rising.